Now, friends, let us try to understand the poem that is the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. T.S. Eliot actually started his poetic career with the publication of this poem, and that made him the influential poets of the 20th century. It is very interesting to know that this is one of the earliest poem by Eliot which contains a major characteristics of the poet. Initially, it was published in Chicago Magazine Poetry in June 1915, and after that, it was published in a book of poetry, Prufrock and Other Observations in 1917. So, friends, 1917 is the year where Prufrock and Other Observation as a book of poetry published, and very interestingly, after 1 year, this publication will reach at the 100 years. Okay, to at present we are in 2016. So after 1 year, it will be in the call that 100 years of the publication. Now it is a signature poem by Eliot which reflects the test of the time. This poem contains all the major characteristics of modern poetry. Even Eliot was very interesting to present or represent the tradition and even the individual talent, which reflects the test of the time. Now, what is the test of the time? That modern society, World War first, the time where science was developing, where due to the World War, people were highly lonely, they were not connected with the society, there are mental problems, psychological conversions. So you will see that these all characteristics is very appropriately maintained in the poem. It shows significant features of Eliot's poetry. You will find while reading the poem that Eliot was, during his early days, he was highly influenced by French symbolist poets and fragmented style. So the poem exactly shows these things, use of symbols, images, and you will see these images and symbols in the modern context, which represents the society or the time which is prepared or presented into the poem. Now, T.S. Eliot, I would consider him not only a name but a brand. Why it is a brand? Because in the 20th century, Eliot changed the fashion. He tried to represent the society in such a way that it reflected in his poems. So now in the again connected ways of T.S. Eliot, during the 20th century, T.S. Eliot has changed the taste of the time. Many or most of the major poets, they were following, they were trying to, you can say, they were trying to conclude or they were trying to imitate T.S. Eliot in his writing. This poem has a title, and any literary work or piece, they indicate something or they try to suggest something with the title. Now the title of this poem is the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Now originally it was titled as Prufrock Among the Women, and around 1909 it is considered to 11 this poem might be written. Original title, then later Eliot changed the title as the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. So this is the change into his writing, the portion of the title you will find that is the love song, which might have come from Hardayal, the love song of Hardayal, and written by Rudyard Kipling. The name Prufrock may be originated from William Prufrock, that is the furniture company where T.S. Eliot was living in his hometown. The initial J and Alfred are possibly writer's own creation. Okay, so now that with the title you will try to understand that T.S. Eliot was very conscious and he was deliberately making his poem difficult. The title has also a very important link which you will try to interpret, that the title is ironic and it is not love song in a traditional sense. So again, this is a very interesting feature to know, that the title is ironic. When you read the poem, you will find that whatever is advocated in the title or whatever is mentioned into the title, it is quite opposite whatever is written in a poem. Now the title itself breaks the tradition. Now what is the tradition? The title breaks the tradition of romantic or Victorian and introducing the modern. Okay, now how will you understand or justify this thing? That when you read the love song, very initially you will find that it is a poem about the love. But at the later you will find that J. Alfred Prufrock, now you will quite feel the name which is very difficult, or who is a Prufrock. So the title itself shows the breaking the tradition. The romantic tradition or the Victorian tradition is broken when you read the latter half of the title. And again you will feel that the title has a very symbolic meaning. Now when you read Prufrock, the name itself comes into the title. So you might think that Prufrock is a hero. Prufrock is a very important figure of, or very main or central figure of the poem. Yes, of course it is, but it is not a hero in a traditional sense. He is not singing his love song, but rather he is trying to lament. He is trying to describe whatever is not, or what he could not do in his lifetime. Even as a student of literature, you might feel that the title has a connection with the poem. Eliot tries to change the title, and here you will find that here there is a very interesting and important change in his writing, and this change would come in a very meaningful way. Even the initials you will find that is not possibly drawn from any creation. The reference to the title you will feel in the next phase or writing that we try to understand by the work of T.S. Eliot. There are many such titles which you will try to focus on the screen. Now friends, as a poet, Eliot was very much conscious about his writing, but he could not identify. What he could not identify? That he could not identify the love into the modern society, which is totally different than the previous romantic age. The concept of love is totally changed into the writing of the poet. Friends, now we are still not discussing the poem. I mean that Eliot, to understand Eliot, first we have to understand so many things. Eliot allows his readers first to do the homework. Okay, without homework, you will never understand his poems. So the poem is very difficult in one way. There are many references and there are many illusions you will find into the poem. Now here is epigraph, friends. What is epigraph? Epigraph is a quotation, or you can say that it is a quotation from other literary work which comes in the beginning of the poem. Again, it is a very significant and typical Eliotian characteristic that there are many of his poems they contains epigraph. So again, this is the new innovative way of writing. Though Wordsworth and they were using epigraph, but Eliot frequently trying to use epigraph and trying to give us hint to understand the poem. This epigraph is taken from Dante's Inferno. Dante, most of you students might have heard the name, and I know that you also know that in the life of Eliot, the works of Dante has a major impact. Dante's Divine Comedy, okay, where there is a different parts, and there is one is Inferno. Inferno means hell. So these 3 or 4 lines, they are taken from Dante's Inferno. Now I have also tried to given his translation in this way, that if I believed that my answer would be to someone who would ever return to the earth, this flame would move no more. But because no one from this gulf has ever returned alive, if what I hear is true, I can reply with no fear of infamy. Friends, epigraph here is line. These are the words or lines. They are spoken by Count Guido, a damned soul. Okay. Now you will think that what is the use of this epigraph, or why from Dante's Inferno these lines are taken, or there is no connection with this poem. But friends, I tell you that Eliot had a very good sense of mixing the things, or he was trying to always connect it. He here gives the hint to all of us. I would like to also share one of the famous line by Eliot. He sometimes says that immature poet borrows and mature poet steals. So in that way, he is using, or he is taking words, lines, references, allusions and mixing to in his poem with a very meaningful and very suggestive way. So epigraph here, as I told you, is a short quotation at the beginning of a book or chapter, and it tries to indicate a main theme of a work, piece of work. Now what happens in Inferno? Inferno, as I told you, it is a hell. Now in the hell, Dante is in his journey went to hell, Inferno, and he finds a very one important person, Count Guido, and Dante surprised that this person is here, and he asks that why you are here. Okay, you will try to understand these lines in that way, that try to understand the entire scene, that in the hell Dante meets a person, a damned soul, and he asks the reason why that soul is here. why he is in the hell. So of course people with a bad deeds or who misguided the people on the earth, they are in the hell. So in the last line of the epigraph, you will say that fear, no fear of infamy. That means now this soul has no fear. Count Guido has no fear to confess his crimes or whatever he did on the earth. So it is a sense of confession. Okay, he gives the reasons that why he is in the hell. It is suggestive and meaningful, which directly connects with the main theme. Okay, the epigraph directly connects. Here there is a repetition of one line, so it directly connects with the main theme of the poem. Now what is the theme and what are the things that we will try to discuss later on in the discussion. But one hint is that Prufrock is also living in the modern society which is like the hell. Okay, the modern society, when you read the description of the first paragraph, first stanza, you will find that the entire society it is described by the poet is similar to hell, and Prufrock is living, the character, the persona is living in such society. He is trying to confess something in a fragmented way. Prufrock is trying to confess in a fragmented way. Friends, two things you should understand to understand this epigraph is, one, that the poem begins with the hell kind of environment. Okay, so that epigraph represents, and even in the same poem it is reflected, a sense of confession is there. So Prufrock is also trying to confess something. He might be confessing about his failure in the love. He might be confessing that his inactive nature. So there are so many things he is confessing. So this epigraph has very important feature or characteristics that lead us to understand the poem in a better way. Dante and even major other poets, writers influenced Eliot, but this epigraph is very symbolic and suggestive. The hell is described